Tapi yang tadi Arnaf Irfan masuk dah.
Dia macam kejap masuk, lepas tu dia hati dia. Dia belum masuk.
Tu ada dah.
Okay dah.
Tu ada
Okay,
Arnaf
madam boleh continue.
Okay. Alright, so last Monday kita dah discuss about this particular schedule. Okay, how to do the sampling, single sampling, double sampling. So I hope you have watched the YouTube. Apa tu macam mana nak baca the schedule. Alright, and then untuk when we talk about sampling, we have a number of sample that we collected, and then we need to come to a conclusion whether that particular defective it falls into the category of AQL ataupun RQL, acceptable quality level ataupun rejectable quality level. Okay, so now we proceed with the type 1, type 2 error. Okay, type 1, type 2 error ni ini yang saya ada touch a bit untuk defective of the sample. Okay, so type 1, type 2 error, this one sometimes it can be done by either because of kita wrongly accept the product or wrongly reject the product, the raw material ataupun the finished product. Okay, so for type 1 error, this one it belongs to the category of producer's risk, whereby this is the probability for a given a number of sample as well as for the number of defective. Okay, sampling plan. Rejecting a lot that is having a defect level equal to the acceptable quality level. Okay, the producer suffers when this occur because a lot of acceptable quality was rejected, and the symbol alpha, okay, alpha error. So this one kita panggil sebagai alpha error. Untuk type 1 error ni is a alpha error. Commonly being used for the type 1 error, and typical values for a range from 0.2 to 0.01. Okay, to simplify this type 1 error, meaning that bila kita when we collect the sample, okay, kita check sample. But then after we perform the sample, after we perform the testing, while we came out to a conclusion that this particular lot, okay, maksudnya the of that day ataupun the finished product of that day need to be rejected, okay, because we wrongly make a decision from the testing. Sebenarnya testing tu it give a conclusion that the defective of the sample is lesser. Okay, maksudnya the product, the lot need to be accepted. Okay, maksudnya supplier tu hantar barang dekat kita, hantar raw material, hantar supply raw material to us. But what happen is that when we perform the testing, when we perform the sampling, we came out to a conclusion that the lot need to be rejected. Padahal the lot tu sebenarnya it is acceptable. Okay, the sample that we collected tu sebenarnya when we perform the testing, the result came out to be supposed to be acceptable. Tapi we wrongly make a decision to reject the lot. So bila kita reject the lot, kenapa namanya producer's risk? Because supplier is the producer. Okay, tak kisahlah supplier tu dia import barang ke ataupun memang dia producer of that particular raw material. So bila kita reject the good raw material, then it becomes the producer's risk because that particular raw material need to be returned to the supplier. So supplier tu dia kena ambil balik barang dia and then dia nak jual pada siapa? Okay, so that is the risk of the producer, whereby consumer ni ataupun kita QA/QC we made a wrong decision whereby we reject the acceptable product. So that one is like one error. Okay, tapi if let's say the question the question given in for you to answer in subjective, then you need to answer whereby it involve with the probability, and then the typical values it range from 0.2 until to 0.01. Okay, tapi to simplify, what does it mean by producer's risk is whereby kita reject the acceptable lot. Okay, then kita kena return, we need to return the lot, okay, the raw material back to the producer, back to the supplier. Right, and then we have type 2 error. Okay, type 2 error will be consumer's risk. Consumer's risk tu maksudnya when we take the sample, we perform testing, okay, and somehow we came out to a conclusion, alright, this particular lot is acceptable. Whereby, if let's say we perform, let's say we take more sample, actually the lot need to be rejected because it has poor quality. Tapi kemungkinan sample yang kita ambil tu, kebetulan during that time, all the samples that we collected is considered as acceptable. But then there are a rest of other carton boxes dekat dalam tu yang
Madam,
when
sorry for
yeah,
interrupting you.
ha,
Ada sorry madam, ada kawan saya dia nak join. Dia tak accept lagi.
kejap bagi saya habis dulu yang this one
Alright, sorry.
Kejap. Okay, tu I dah admit dah. Bila kena ugut barulah masuk lah berduyun-duyun semua. Okay, so we proceed with consumer's error, consumer's risk. Okay, what happen is that katakanlah satu lot tu dalam pallet. Okay, pallet tu ada, contohnya ada 25 carton boxes. So 25 carton boxes, katalah I need to pick 3 carton box. So masa I pick 3 carton box tu, all of these sample dalam carton boxes ni actually acceptable. But actually, if I open more carton inside carton boxes are unacceptable, meaning the quality is lower compared to the specification that we had. Tapi saya hanya buka 3 carton box ni. So I made to a conclusion that okay, I want to accept this particular raw material. So bila saya accept this raw material, and then production they all buka the product, they buka the raw material, they open up the carton box. Okay, sebab yang tu yang saya dah buka tadi kan, the first 3 they all buka, okay, and then ada macam ada konten yang boleh pakai. So actually I have made a wrong decision. Okay, when I made the wrong decision whereby this particular lot, okay, yang lot tadi yang I kata acceptable tadi, sepatutnya kena reject. Okay, tapi I accept because I wrongly collect the sample. Contoh I wrongly collect the sample. So this type 2 error is known as consumer's risk. Consumer's risk tu sebab apa? Kita yang ambil produk daripada supplier, we are the consumer. We are the user of that particular raw material. So the risk goes back to us because when I accept a rejectable raw material, it will affect towards the production. It will affect toward the finished product quality. So that is why it is known as consumer's risk. Okay, and this particular type 1 error, type 2 error, this one, it happen. Okay, bukannya kata macam oh takkan jadilah dekat I, it happen. Because during my time masa I kerja pun it happen. I made a wrong decision for this type 2 error. So somehow it goes back to me, and then kita check balik dengan supplier lah. So luckily during that time supplier admit that is their mistake, then they replace with their new raw material which not having any problem. Tapi during that time ada problem sikit lah untuk production because bila dah ada low quality of product that we accept of the raw material, normally production they all pun tak berani nak pakai because if let's say there is any slightly changes of the colour ke ataupun ada some contaminant ke, biasanya production people they all tak nak pakai. Okay, so that's why we need to know to conduct a proper sampling as well as to conduct a proper testing for the sample that we collected, so that we can avoid to have this kind of type 1 error as well as type 2 error. Okay, so remember type 1 error when we reject the product that is acceptable. Type 2 error is whereby we accept the product that's supposed to be rejected. Okay, so for the explanation of type 2 error, consumer's risk, this is the probability for a given the sample as well as the defective sampling plan, whereby we accept the lot that is having a defective level equal to the rejection level. Okay, so the consumer suffer, consumer tu maksudnya the user of that particular material. Because the lot is supposed to be unacceptable quality is being accepted. So the symbol beta is commonly used for type 2 error. So type 1 error is alpha error, type 2 error is beta error. So type 1 error produces risk is whereby you reject the acceptable product. Type 2 error is beta risk, okay, ataupun beta error is because we accept the product that's supposed to be rejected. Okay, and then we have this OC curve. OC curve is whereby the curve is being plot the probability by accepting the lot, whereby it is the y-axis versus the lot fraction or a percent of defective. That one is x-axis. So this OC curve, basically this one is untuk sampling plan or the apa tu scheduling of sampling plan. Kejap, betul ke ni eh? Oh. Okay, so a single sampling plan where the lot size n is large and the lot is considered as to have been drawn from a theoretically infinite process is governed by the binomial distribution. This one, what does it mean by OC curve And then a random sample daripada lot ni, daripada the whole population is being taken and it is being used to check for the quality of that particular raw material of that particular lot. Okay, so the probability of accepting the lot, okay, whereby it is denoted as PA ni, okay, probability of accepting the lot is equal to the probability of number of defective found in the sample should be less than acceptance number and is dependent to the true fraction defective in the lot. So by plotting the result, we can get the OC curve like we have in the following slides. Okay, this particular graph, this one is for the ideal sampling plan, okay, whereby the probability, okay, this one is a P more than 0.02 is considered as to be unacceptable. So when we want to accept the product, the probability should fall in the region of 0.1, okay. And if let's say we want to reject the lot, then the probability value is greater than 0.02. So this one is the ideal sampling plan. But then in practice, we will have this kind of OC curve. Okay. OC curve whereby untuk y-axis, this one is the probability of acceptance. And then untuk y-axis, this one is for the berapa persen kita accept and berapa persen kita reject. Sekejap. Okay, so in practice, the perfect or ideal graph cannot be achieved because of course we have some of the sample is defective, some of the sample is acceptable. So a sampling plan should have some non-zero probability of rejecting the same lot, which in reality should be accepted. That one is type 1 error. And then we have accepting lot, which in reality should be rejected, whereby that one is type 2 error. Okay, tapi kalau dalam industri, basically saya tak pastilah industri lain tapi the one that I join, we don't really go into this statistically value whether we accept or reject this particular raw material normally ataupun finished product. Normally we will refer back to the sampling plan dengan yang scheduling tadi yang I tunjuk dekat you all last Monday. Okay. So ini another OC curve for the acceptance ataupun defective of the product. Okay, ini another one for the inspection. This one will be the techniques that we want to perform when we want to do the sampling. Okay, remember before kita leave the meeting last Monday, I mentioned about the reduce and tighten sampling plan. Okay, dalam yang scheduling, sample schedule yang I tunjuk dekat you all, that one is normal inspection. Contoh I bagi contoh. Okay, contoh, katalah I terima 50 carton boxes. So dalam normal punya sampling schedule, 50 carton boxes, I need to take 10. Contoh I need to take 10 carton boxes. That one is a normal inspection. Okay, so every time when the same raw material come, I will collect, so for 50 carton boxes, I will collect 10 carton boxes and I will perform sampling and testing. Alright, so for example, if let's say this particular supplier is giving me a good quality of raw material every single time when they deliver the raw material, then there will be some time that we came to a degree of confidence that we are confident this particular supplier will continuously give us a good quality of raw material. So what happened is that instead of checking 10 carton boxes, okay, untuk normal inspection, what happened is that the next time when the same 50 carton boxes arrive in my premise, I want to perform reduced inspection. Reduced inspection is whereby I will reduce the number of sample that I want to collect and that I want to do inspection ataupun testing. Okay, so reduce inspection ni dia ada beberapa impact lah, implication dia. Okay, the first one, when we perform reduce inspection, it means we have a good confidence with the supplier. And the another advantage is whereby we reduce the time of our manpower. Okay, we reduce the time of our manpower doing the sampling ataupun doing the testing sebab kita dah reduce the number of sample tadi. Jadi kita jimat masa. Okay. Sebab biasanya kalau kamu join industri, private industry, biasanya they all akan ada problem dari segi manpower biasanya. Jadi kita akan cuba cari which part ataupun which area that we can try to save the time in order to make sure that our manpower boleh cater all the inspection. Alright, but when I perform reduce inspection, what happened is that actually I am increasing the risk of accepting product that probably is having a defective. Okay, probably having a defective lot. Okay, itu adalah risiko when we perform reduce inspection. Okay, so this particular explanation, the inspection in accordance with a sampling plan requiring a smaller sample size than those that is for normal inspection. So this particular reduced inspection it is being used in some inspection system as an economy measure sebab tadi kita jimat masa, and then lagi satu, bila kita tak buka banyak, when we did not open more carton boxes, actually we are maintaining the integrity of the material inside of that carton boxes. Okay, so when the level of submitted quality is sufficiently good and other stated condition apply. Tapi remember the disadvantage of having reduced, this one tak tambah dekat dalam ni kot. I mean tak tulis dekat dalam ni, tapi this one I just tambah dekat you all je lah, general information. The risk of performing reduced inspection is whereby we increase the risk of having defective material. Okay, that one is when we perform reduced inspection. And this particular reduced inspection, it is a common thing that you can find when you go for SME companies as well as in big company as well. Because big company contohnya, selalunya kita akan ada reliable supplier, and supplier tu every single year kita akan buat kita akan check dia punya performance, namanya performance appraisal. So kita akan check performance dia sama ada dia all deliver a good quality of raw material all the way, all the time, ataupun there is some hiccup hiccup tu maksudnya there's some problem during that year for the delivery of the raw material. Okay, so kalau throughout the year memang dia bagi kita a very good quality of raw material, so big industry pun akan perform this kind of inspection. They all akan cari which part, which area that they try to jimatkan masa, okay, try to reduce the time of inspection. Okay, and then katalah tadi, contoh normal inspection, 10 carton boxes out of 50 boxes. The population is 50 boxes. So 10 carton boxes for normal inspection. And then on that day, katalah hari Isnin, saya perform normal inspection. Then hari Rabu, okay, contohnya on Wednesday, we receive the same raw material. So for our normal inspection, I will open 10 carton boxes. And then what happened is that when I open that 10 carton boxes and I perform the testing, I perform the sampling, I found out that 8 out of 10 carton boxes are defective. Okay, are found with defective. 8 out of 10. So during that time, you can come out with a decision whether you want to reject of the raw material ataupun you want to perform more sampling. Okay, so basically untuk industri, sebelum kita nak come up with a conclusion whether we want to reject this particular raw material ataupun tak, normally we will open more carton boxes. So tadi I dah buka 10, 8 with defective. Okay, so normally the executive ataupun manager, they will give instruction to their subordinate, you need to open 5 more carton boxes, buka lagi 5. Okay, so when we open 5 carton boxes, so total dah jadi 15 carton boxes that I open. So now the inspection has become tighten inspection. Okay, so when I open another 5 more carton boxes, kesemua 5 tu ada defective. So that give us a good degree of confidence untuk reject the whole lot. Jadi kita tak akan tersilap buat judgement. Okay, so kita reject this particular lot and minta supplier untuk hantar raw material lot yang baru. Okay, so raw material the next day hari Khamis kan, hari Rabu tadi kita buka 15. So hari Khamis supplier kena ganti sebab kita dah reject tadi, so dia kena ganti balik raw material tu. So hari Khamis the supplier tu hantar semula raw material. Okay, so during this time kita dah ada rasa degree of non-confidence. We have a certain degree of non-confidence towards this supplier. Because yesterday bila kita buka 10 carton boxes, 8 ada defective. Buka lagi 5 defective. So the next day, on the Thursday, I do not want to perform normal inspection sebab kita dah tahu semalam ada history. Dah ada history. So hari ni bila saya terima the same raw material, I do not want to perform normal inspection but I want to perform tighten inspection. So instead of normal inspection buka 10, hari Khamis, yesterday tu, I buka 15. I open up 15 carton boxes. So when I open up 15 carton boxes, meaning that I am doing tighten inspection. So I open up 15 carton boxes and a good thing is that when I open 15 carton boxes, okay, ada one ataupun there is a 1 or 2 carton boxes that is problematic. Yang the rest semua okay. Okay, so kita boleh accept tapi kita reject yang 2 carton boxes kita jumpa untuk defective ni. Okay, so kita accept that one, kita reject yang 2 carton boxes yang ada defective. Okay, what happened to the next delivery? Adakah you akan still rasa confident tak dengan this particular supplier untuk you nak perform normal inspection? Answer? You ada rasa confident ke ataupun you rasa macam okay lah kita boleh buat dah sebab semalam dah okay dah. So katalah hari Jumaat ada dapat raw material. So what will be your judgement? Do you think that you have 100% confident ataupun you ada slightly tak confident dengan this type of supplier?
Tak confident.
Okay, good. So when you have a certain doubt, okay, you have a degree of doubt for that particular supplier, of course you rasa tak confident kan? takkan I nak perform normal sampling, dah kita tahu hari Rabu ada problem, hari Khamis pun ada juga yang kena reject walaupun 2 carton boxes. So hari Jumaat, hari ni bila I nak perform the same, I nak collect sample and I nak perform testing, sampling, still I akan buat Titan inspection. Okay, tapi Titan inspection ni, it means that I open up ataupun I took more samples than normal inspection. But what happened is that, of course, there are some advantage and disadvantage when I perform Titan inspection. The advantage is that we can assure that the raw material that we receive is in good quality, is in good condition according to the specification that we have agreed between us, okay, pengilang dan juga the supplier, okay, and then we make sure that the quality, we make sure that the confidence level, and we ensure that the raw material is being acceptable. Okay, itu advantage dia. But the and then the another advantage is whereby we reduce the risk of having defective raw material ataupun finished product. Kenapa kita reduce the risk? Sebab kita buka lebih carton boxes, kita check lebih. Bila kita check lebih, maksudnya kita perform a thorough inspection. Alright? So the degree, the percentage of risk is being reduced compared to reduced inspection. Okay, itu degree of risk. But then untuk Titan inspection ni kita tak boleh buat selama-lamanya. Sebab kita kata, oh kita rasa tak confident dengan supplier ni, so selama-lamanya I nak open up 15 carton boxes. No, you cannot, because when you perform Titan inspection, actually you are using more time in order for you to conduct the sampling. Meaning that you are using more manpower. Okay, manpower tu adalah staff you kena buka, kena check, kena buat testing and etc. Okay, ambil masa. So so the raw material yang lain pula, it will become delay. Okay, so that is the risk and the advantage and disadvantage of Titan inspection. So what will be the solution for us to come back daripada Titan inspection, kita nak go back to the normal inspection, is whereby kita voice out, we raise the issue to the supplier so that they give us the good condition of raw material quality, and from their side pun they have some assurance to us, they assure us that the raw material they are given to us is in good quality. Okay, bila kita dah raise the issue and then after some time, bila kita dah perform Titan inspection, okay, we came out with a certain degree of confidence. Okay, kita rasa di supplier dia dah resolve the issue on their side, supplier punya side. Okay, so daripada Titan inspection, kita boleh turunkan balik kepada normal inspection. Okay, remember, jangan sebab you kata, no, I am a perfectionist. Tak, dalam industri pun memang tak boleh nak jadi perfectionist. Tak boleh. Selama-lamanya tak boleh buat Titan inspection because you use a lot of time of the manpower. Okay. So harap you faham reduce normal dengan Titan inspection. So dalam your punya lecture notes ni, inspection for the Titan is in accordance with a sampling plan that has a stricter acceptance criteria than those used in normal inspection, whereby this particular Titan inspection is used in some inspection system as a protective measure when the level of submitted quality is sufficiently poor. Okay, so I hope you understand about my explanation. So yang ini adalah explanation, simplified explanation of how the Titan and reduced inspection is being done. Okay, so first kita start dengan normal inspection, and then if let's say there is issue, then kita go to the Titan inspection. So Titan inspection whereby you check more samples in order for you to come to a decision whether to accept ataupun to reject that particular lot. Ataupun if let's say throughout the time, throughout the years, you keep on receiving a good raw material, then daripada normal inspection, you turunkan jadi reduced inspection. Okay. Alright, yang ini apa yang saya explain just now lah, sama je sebenarnya, and you can read on your own. Okay, so untuk blended learning, for this particular slide, I have posted together the document for the Malaysian guideline of food sampling. So can you please read on this particular subchapter. This one is 3.3.11, 3.3.12 as well as 3.313. Okay, attributes of acceptance sampling, variables, and then attribute plan to detect an incidence in the population. And then for another subchapter 3.32, we have this particular sampling plan for commodity defects, for net content, compositional criteria, and other health related properties. So this one can you please read on your own, sebab soalan test pun bukan saya yang buat, saya tak tahu. Jadi takutnya nanti ada soalan yang keluar daripada this particular Malaysia guidelines of food sampling, daripada this one subtopic. Okay, so now sampling techniques for different types of food. Okay, different types of food ataupun material, contohnya powder material, liquid material, solid material, they have different techniques. Okay, tapi dalam you all punya chapter ni, kita permudahkan supaya you all tak pening kepala nanti, oh untuk solid macam mana, untuk liquid macam mana. So this one just a matter of your general information sajalah because untuk industri, it is very common for us to receive contoh macam liquid material, katalah sugar syrup, mineral oil, milk, liquid milk, okay. And then untuk powder, contohnya kita ada terima milk powder ke, kita terima flour, sugar, salt, okay, yang tu pun kategori dalam powdery material juga. And then solid, contohnya kita terima dalam bentuk fat, lemak, lemak sayuran yang tu vegetable fat, those are ataupun for example chocolate compound, those are in solid form. Okay, itu contoh sajalah untuk raw material. Okay, terminology for sampling. So now we have a population. Okay, bila saya cakap lot ataupun population, actually it goes it represent the same thing, whereby this is it serve as the entire group of the material ataupun people of interest from the researcher needs to obtain the information. Element ataupun sampling unit is one unit from population. Maksudnya kita tarik keluar, we withdraw one unit, that is the element. Sampling is whereby the selection procedure of a subset for the population. And then we have the sampling frame. Okay, nanti jangan tersilap pula sampling dengan sampling frame. Is a list of all sampling units in the target population. And then we have sampling size, the number of units or subjects sample for inclusion in the study. And then this one is the census, polling for the entire population. E-census, banci. Kan yang sekarang ni tengah the e-census is going on. So that one is census lah. Okay, kita nak banci the whole population of Malaysia. For example, that one is census. And then survey, this one is a polling of sample. Okay, survey basically it more towards the qualitative rather than quantitative. Okay, population ni contohnya this one, this whole group is the population. Okay, when we want to collect samples, so we just take a few, we withdraw a few of people ataupun material out from the population untuk kita conduct sampling. Okay, conduct testing. Okay, census maksudnya kita test untuk semua orang. Okay, so this is the explanation. For example, we have the certain population. Who do you want to generalize to? Then what population can you get access to? So this one is the study of population. Then for sampling frame, how can you get access to these people, this group of people? Then the sample tu maksudnya you dah ada targeted people. So daripada targeted people tu you akan target lagi siapa lagi yang you nak study. Okay, untuk industri, dalam industri, food industry kita tak pergi collect sampel dekat orang lah. Kita collect sampel untuk raw material dan juga finished product ataupun ongoing product, online product. Online product tu bukan produk yang dekat dalam internet tau. Masa I join food industry tu pun bila one of my ex-colleague tu kata you kena collect sampel tu online. I pun macam nak kena collect sampel online? Macam mana nak collect sampel online? Oh rupanya yang tengah bergerak dekat atas conveyor tu dekat mana yang I nak kena collect daripada line tu. Line that particular production line. So bila dia kata online tu maksudnya during that time you kena collect and take the sample. Okay, so for sampling techniques, we have two types. One is unbiased, the other one is biased. Unbiased tu whereby it goes for the probability. Maksudnya it has a non-zero chance to be selected. Whereby untuk non-probability, this one is biased. Maksudnya certain group of people ataupun certain material, it having a zero chance. Dia tak akan dipilih. Alright. So untuk food industry, basically kita akan conduct probability lah. Kita tak buat non-probability kebiasaannya. Okay. So under probability, we have a simple sampling, systematic, stratified as well as cluster. Okay, yang ini I akan explain one by one. Apa tu? Simple, systematic, stratified and as well as cluster. Okay, the first one is random sampling. Random sampling tu contoh macam tadi saya ada 50 carton boxes. So saya kena take out 10 carton boxes. Saya tak boleh pick up sampel yang ada berdekatan dengan saya sahaja. Katakanlah masa tu I berdiri dekat bahagian raw material tu kan. So I kata nak senang kerja I ambil yang dekat dengan saya lah. Yang atas sekali dengan yang dekat dengan I. So I ambil 10 yang atas sekali. So that one is bias. Okay. Kalau non-bias, when we talk about random sampling, you kena ambil dalam this particular raw material tu, you kena ambil yang bahagian atas, bahagian tengah dan bahagian bawah. So that every single carton boxes, they have the same chances of being picked out. Okay, so ni every element of the population has a non-zero probability of being drawn out. Jadi bukannya bias sebab nak senang kerja I nak ambil yang dekat dengan saya je. Sebab kalau you ambil yang dekat dengan you, kemungkinan raw material, carton boxes yang dalam raw material yang dekat dengan you, semua acceptable. Tapi yang lain tu semua unacceptable. So you dah buat type 1 error ke type 2 error dah dekat situ. Alright. And then we have this simple random sampling. It is almost similar with random sampling. Okay, tapi sebenarnya dia ada a few restriction. But then kita follow je lah dalam you all punya lecture notes ni. A simple random sample is similar to random sample. So every element of the population has the same ataupun non-zero probability of being drawn out. Okay. So yang ini lebih systematic lah compared to random sampling. Random sampling tadi you ikut suka you. Okay, dekat bahagian atas you nak ambil yang mana, dekat tengah you nak ambil yang mana, bawah you nak ambil kat mana. Okay, untuk yang simple random sampling ni, every single thing you pull out, okay, you nak ambil tu, you kena macam ada simple calculation sikit. Okay, tools to carry out random sampling. So kita ada table of random number and then kita boleh generate dekat sini lah. Yang ini I doubt lah industri ada pakai nak pakai apps ke apa ke, tak sempat sebab masa tu raw material sampai banyak bukannya setakat 1-2 raw material je, kadang-kadang tu 20-30 raw material sampai. Sekali sampai tu bukannya 50 carton boxes yang macam I cakap tu, ada setengah tu bertantan. So really depends, it goes back to your industry that you join later. Okay, then we have systematic random sampling. This particular systematic random sampling, the sample member from a larger population are being selected according to random starting point. Okay, so mula-mula randomly kita collect. Okay, and then after that kita akan fix periodic interval. Okay, I bagi contoh lah Okay, katakanlah saya nak collect sample dekat atas conveyor line tu. Okay, atas conveyor line tu, okay, I nak collect sampel produk A. Okay, dalam produk A tu, katalah dalam satu line tu ada 100 sampel ataupun the population is 100. So, I nak collect sampel daripada produk A. So, I nak collect every 5 interval. Maksudnya kosong. Okay, produk start daripada nombor kosong, saya nak collect nombor 5, nombor 10, nombor 15, 20. That one is systematic. Alright? Faham ke? Katalah I ada produk A, B, C. So randomly, okay, I nak pilih produk A. So bila I nak perform after that, I dah pilih produk A, then I want to go into systematic random sampling. I want to get for every 5 interval. So that one is systematic random sampling. Okay, this interval is called as sampling interval and it is calculated by dividing the population size by the desired sample size. Okay, yang ini pun saya pernah buat masa saya join industri. Masa ni kita ada a bit of issue, tak ingat apa, tapi it's a very mild issue lah, and I want my subordinate, my assistant to carry out and I want her to perform a thorough checking. So bila nak buat thorough checking tu, kita akan perform systematic sampling. Okay, systematic sampling tu maksudnya tak adalah saya suruh dia ambil I tak suruh dia ambil for every 5 interval. That will be a lot of sample that she needs to test. So apa yang saya minta untuk dia, ikut masa. Okay, kita boleh ikut according to the quantity as well as ikut time. Okay, ikut masa. Biasanya dalam production kita ikut masa, kita tak ikut time sebab product that is being produced a lot. So apa yang saya minta dekat dia, I kata dekat dia, okay, you need to collect 3 sample for every 5 minutes. Satu batch tu jalan 20 minit. So berapa katalah setiap sampel tu satu je lah saya minta. Every 5 minutes satu sampel. So berapa sampel dia kena collect? 20 minutes, setiap 5 minit collect satu.
4.
5. Salah. 5.
5.
Sebab 5. Sebab kena daripada starting point. Kosong minit kena collect. Okay. And then 5 minutes. Lepas tu 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Okay. Mesti kena macam tu. Sebab kalau you tak ambil yang 0 minit tu, macam mana you nak compare dengan yang 5 minutes dengan yang 20 minutes ni? Okay, mesti kena ada yang 0. Alright. So itu adalah systematic sampling. Okay, systematic random sampling. Dia random lah sebab I minta dia untuk collect for every 5 minutes kan. 5 minutes, bila dah sampai masa 5 minit tu nak collect yang mana? Tak tahu. So 5 minit then dia ambil randomly yang mana satu. Tapi must be representative lah. Okay. Kejap. Cuk. Ni dah. Alright. Then we move on to stratified sampling. Yang I bagi tadi tu contoh untuk you all so that later bila you join industry, tapi kalau you punya boss kata, tadi kan I kata take for every 5 minute interval. Kalau you punya boss kata ambil 4 tau. Ambil 5 minit, 10 minit, 15 minit, 20 minit. Lepas tu you kata tapi saya punya lecturer dekat universiti ajar saya kena ambil 0 minit. You jangan argue, you just tanya, perlu tak saya nak ambil 0 minit? Kalau dia kata tak perlu, then no need. You jangan argue lah dengan dia Because apa-apa pun it depends on you how you want to perform how you want to collect the sample. Okay. And then untuk stratified sampling, okay, stratified sampling, this one is known as strata. I nak tunjuk contoh pun tak ada dekat sini. Strata. Okay, strata ni, gambar dia macam mana? Okay, katalah dalam pallet, okay, pallet tu, atas pallet kayu, plastik pallet tu, kita ada 50 carton boxes, okay. Setiap tingkat tu ada 10 carton box. Jadi ada berapa tier? Ada berapa tingkat? Satu layer ada 10 carton boxes. Jadi saya ada berapa layer?
Macam mana madam?
Okay, atas wooden pallet. Katalah atas troli lah contoh. I nak mudahkan you all ni. Atas troli ada 50 carton boxes, ada 50 kotak. Okay. So macam mana disusun, macam mana kotak tu disusun atas troli. Atas setiap layer troli tu ada 10 kotak. Setiap layer ada 10 kotak. Jadi saya ada berapa layer?
5.
5. Okay, 5 sebab total kotak ada 50, betul tak?
Betul, madam.
Okay, ingat satu layer ada 10 kotak, jadi kita ada 5 layer. Okay, so layer ni kita panggil strata. So strata, it goes to stratified sampling. Okay, so untuk this particular stratified sampling, kejap, sebab yang ini dia tak. Okay, untuk stratified sampling, what happen is that dalam setiap layer, okay, saya ada 50 carton boxes, tapi sebenarnya 50 carton boxes tu bukan raw material yang sama. It is not the same raw material. The first layer, okay, layer yang paling bawah sekali, strata yang paling bawah, okay, saya bagi contoh strata yang paling bawah adalah garam. Strata yang second from the bottom is gula. And then the third one is flour. The fourth one is milk powder. And then the fifth one maybe chocolate. Nampak So each layer different raw material. Yang itu adalah strata. Okay. So untuk stratified sampling, setiap layer, satu layer tu, setiap layer, every layer they are homogeneous. Because setiap layer, satu layer, layer pertama tadi semuanya garam saja kan. Layer kedua semua gula saja. Layer ketiga apa tadi? Milk powder ke flour ke whatever. Okay. So setiap layer tu raw materialnya sama. Tapi the whole palette tu is heterogeneous sebab they contain different raw materials. Setakat ni faham tak?
Faham.
Okay.
Faham.
Okay. So bila kita nak collect, alright, good. So bila kita nak collect sampel untuk stratified sampling, kita kena ambil sampel dari setiap strata. Sebab setiap strata adalah sampel yang adalah raw material yang berbeza. Okay. So for stratified sampling, the strata, okay, strata tu is homogeneous. But the population is heterogeneous. Okay, do you get what I mean? For this particular strata?
Faham, madam.
Sebab kenapa you kena faham stratified sampling? Because lepas ni kita akan go to cluster sampling. Cluster sampling, this one is in reverse from stratified sampling. Alright? So stratified sampling harapnya you all faham tapi dia punya explanation dekat sini. The entire population is divided into different subgroups or strata. Then randomly select the final subject proportionately from different strata. Okay, saya harap saya punya explanation tu lebih jelas berbanding this statement. Okay, I hope you understand, alright? Okay, so this particular stratified sampling can be further divided into proportionate versus disproportionate stratified sampling. Okay, proportionate is whereby kita ada girls 2, n equals to 18:9. You want to collect two girls and then you want to get 4 boys. Okay, so it becomes disproportionate when you collect girls whereby dia punya lot number dia adalah 9. The total of the girls is 9 but you only collect 2. Okay, but then untuk boy, the number of the boys are more than the girls tapi you still collect 2. So this one is disproportionate lah. Kalau untuk proportionate, you collect 2. Untuk girls, you collect 4. Untuk boy, because this one is the number according to the scheduling plan. But I do hope that my explanation, you understand my explanation. Okay, untuk cluster sampling, alright, for this particular cluster sampling, this one is in reversal with the stratified sampling. Okay, untuk cluster sampling, saya ada 2 trolley produk. Saya ada 2 trolley containing raw material. Okay, so 2 trolley ni, it contain the raw material yang I bagi tahu tadi. Okay, the first layer garam, second layer gula, kita ada tepung, kita ada milk powder and then we have chocolate. Itu trolley pertama, the first trolley, second trolley pun sama. Okay? Tapi mungkin the arrangement of the strata is different from trolley 1 and trolley 2 but they contain the same raw material. So untuk cluster sampling, population is homogeneous. Kenapa homogeneous? Sebab trolley A dengan trolley B, they contain the same raw materials. Okay? But between strata ataupun between this particular cluster, they are heterogeneous. and I kena collect sampel daripada kedua-dua troli ni. Okay, so ingat for cluster, population adalah homogeneous sebab kedua-dua troli containing the same raw materials. Although dia ada beberapa raw materials lah, tapi raw material yang sama. Okay, tapi susun atur dia mungkin berbeza. Okay, but then within the trolley, they are heterogeneous because it contains several raw material. Okay, so explanation here, the total population is being divided into the groups, okay, yang ada dalam gambar ni, known as cluster, and a simple random sample of the group is being selected. So the element in each cluster are being sampled. Okay, so sama macam stratified tadi, kita akan collect sample, tapi untuk cluster sampling, untuk kedua-dua troli ni kita akan ambil sampel. Okay, so that's why satu troli adalah heterogeneous. Tapi troli A dengan troli B adalah homogeneous sebab kedua-dua troli ni ada raw material yang sama walaupun susunannya berbeza. Okay, I hope you get what I mean. Okay, and then untuk cluster sampling, dia ada juga several stages of sampling. Dia ada one stage of cluster sampling and two stage of cluster sampling. Okay, one stage cluster sampling is whereby if let's say all the elements in each sample cluster are being sampled. Maksudnya, bila kita collect sample, one stage tu, the first time when we collect the sample, then semua raw material tu ada. 5 raw material ni ada. Alright? Bila kita perform second stage cluster sampling is whereby daripada 5 sampel ni tadi, 5 raw materials yang kita collect ni tadi, kita perform lagi sekali sampel untuk each individual of this raw material. So dia ada first stage, kita take out, we withdraw the sample. Okay. Second stage is whereby we perform more testing on that individual sample. Okay, so that one is a one stage cluster sampling, two stage cluster sampling. So far boleh follow?
Boleh, madam.
Okay, good. So now this is the difference between stratified and cluster sampling techniques. So stratified, kita akan collect for every strata. Sebab strata, the population are heterogeneous. Tapi every strata are homogeneous. Untuk cluster, population adalah homogeneous. Tapi every cluster is heterogeneous. Nampak yang dekat sini? Ini warna dia berbeza untuk strata. Okay. Tapi yang ini warna berbeza untuk satu bahagian. Tapi untuk yang bahagian lain pun the same color. So the population is homogeneous untuk cluster. Population untuk stratified adalah heterogeneous. That are the difference between stratified and cluster. Okay, then we move on to multistage sampling. Multistage sampling macam tadilah, the first stage, second stage. Multistage sampling ni is whereby when we want to perform more in-depth of testing. Okay, contoh saya nak buat microbiological testing for a cream dalam produk. Okay, so cream yang ada dekat dalam production floor tu ada several tank, ada beberapa mixer bowl ataupun ada beberapa container. There are few containers containing the same cream. So I perform the first stage of my sampling. Mula-mula I buat random sampling. Okay, I ada container A, B, C, D, E. Okay, untuk cream yang I nak collect, nak buat microbiological testing ni, itu pun complicated kan. Okay. So, daripada 5 container ni, I buat random sampling. Okay, so I nak pilih yang container A, container C dengan container D. Sajalah susahkan you. A, C and D. Okay, so the first stage, saya collect, yang itu saya buat random sampling lah. Okay, so the first stage, saya dah pilih container mana yang saya nak pilih cream tu, then I will scoop out the cream. Okay, I scoop out this cream, that one is the first stage of sampling. I scoop up the cream, I masukkan dalam plastik. Itu first stage untuk saya punya sampling. Okay, so I dah scoop out daripada container A, container C dengan container D. I pun bawa balik pergi ke lab. I bawa balik pergi ke lab. Lab takkan pakai semua yang I ambil tadi. Okay, so dia ambil daripada tiga plastik tu, the person, the lab officer hanya akan scoop around, for example, 10 gram, 10 gram je yang dia ambil. So yang itu adalah second stage of sampling. Dia ambil 10 gram, she take out the 10 grams and then she perform the microbiological testing for those 3 plastics that I collected just now. That one is multi-stage sampling. Maksudnya, mula-mula kita ada yang banyak. Okay, and then kita go deeper. Okay, I collect. The first stage, I collect satu. And then second stage, orang lain pula ambil lagi daripada sampel yang sama. So that one is multi-stage. Okay, and then for quota sampling, okay, yang sampling techniques yang I dah explain dekat you all sampai sebelum quota sampling, that one majority is meant for, it can be for quantitative as well as qualitative testing. Okay, but then now we move on to quota sampling. When we talk about quota sampling, this one is more on qualitative. Qualitative contohnya I nak test berapa orang yang pakai spectacles. How many students in my class is wearing spectacles? So that one is quota. Okay, I have a specific measurement. I want to have a quota. Ataupun I nak buat satu survey and my survey must consist of 10 male and 10 female. So itu adalah quota. Okay, so quota sampling is a method for selecting survey participant that is a non-probabilistic version of stratified sampling. Okay, yang ini dia tak buat according to probability tau. Contohnya, I ada dalam kelas, you all katalah ada dalam kelas I ambil je. Janji cukup 10 student lelaki, 10 student perempuan, that is enough for me. So that one is not according to the probability. So the assembled sample has the same proportion of individual with with respect to known characteristic traits or focus phenomenon. Contoh macam tadi I nak ambil yang ada yang pakai spectacle saja, so that one is my trait. Okay, spectacle berapa orang? So that one is according to quota. Purposive sampling, this one is whereby the sample that is being selected based on characteristic of a population and objective of the study. Purpose sampling, this one is known also as being judgmental, selective ataupun subjective sampling. Kita dah ada population, so kita ada purpose untuk kita nak buat study. Okay, contohnya katalah orang ni they having A blood type. The type of their blood is A. So I nak ambil yang A sahaja. I tak nak yang B, I tak nak AB, I tak nak O. So that one kita ada purpose. Kenapa? Okay, mungkin I nak study in terms of dia punya blood type ni dari segi cholesterol level ke, dia punya fat ke, in terms of the health issue ke, that one is purposive. So you have some purpose and you select a specific group of people. Okay, so purposive sampling can be further divided into extreme or deviant case sampling, whereby it is being used when a researcher wants to study the outlier that diverge from the norm as regard to a particular phenomenon, issue or trend. So by studying the deviant cases, basically we have a better understanding untuk behavior. Kalau you all pernah tengok contoh macam adalah dekat online, if I'm not mistaken, there is an article what is the suitable diet for according to the blood type. Contoh macam tu That one is based on their study from the purposive sampling. But how true is that? That one I do not know. Okay, if a researcher wanted to understand the relationship between the study habits and high academic achievement, contohnya, so he or she should purposely sample students that is considered as high achiever. Okay, and then another purposive sampling, the second category is maximum variation ataupun heterogeneous purposive sample, whereby this one is more selected to provide a diverse range of cases that relevant to a particular phenomenon or event. The purpose of this kind of sample design to provide more insight as possible into the event or phenomenon under examination. Okay, yang ini kita ambil lebih banyak. Okay, dia punya number of sample ataupun number of group of people lebih banyak daripada the first group, the first category. Okay, untuk homogeneous purposive sample, the third category, homogeneous purposive sample, whereby kita select a certain set of characteristic ataupun a certain set of trait. Okay, for example, yang inilah contoh dalam you all punya lecture notes ni, contoh in terms of the skin colour. Okay, tapi kalau macam I bagi contoh tadi, contohnya macam yang they are having the same blood type, okay, A blood type. So that one is homogeneous purposive. Purposely I collect this particular group of people having A blood type untuk I nak study apa, okay. Okay, and then critical case sampling is the type of purposive sampling in which just one case is chosen. Okay, kita hanya pilih seorang saja for study because the researcher expects that the study will reveal insight that they can apply to other cases. Contohnya macam they all akan study a few people untuk beberapa tahun, the same person, the same individual, they all akan study untuk beberapa tahun because they all nak relate maybe in terms of the health issue ke, the habit ke, habit tu bila dia buat macam ni nanti dia jadi lebih sihat ke ataupun dia mudah sakit ke. That one is critical case sampling. Selalunya bila kita study critical case sampling ni, we require a more intense years untuk kita nak study this selected group of people. Okay, typical case sampling is a type of purposive sampling useful when a researcher wants to study a phenomenon or trend that is related to that considered as typical or average member. For example, when we want to study the type of educational curriculum which will affect to the average student, then kita kena fokus kepada that particular student yang ada average performance. Okay, theoretical sampling. Theoretical, contohnya this one basically goes back to the lab work. Okay, theoretical ni selalunya kita akan work dengan software as well as lab work. Okay, dalam software tu kita akan key in several variable. Okay, kita key in, nanti software tu dia akan generate equation ataupun variable, what will be the specification of certain variable, dan kita akan buat itu theoretically. Okay, contohnya katalah bila kita key in variable dekat dalam software tu akan bagi data dekat kita. Okay, temperature yang paling bagus adalah 60 degree Celsius. Masa yang bagus adalah 15 minit contoh. Itu theoretical according to the software. So software pun akan bagi you apa benda yang you nak kena study. Okay, variable apa yang you nak study. Okay, you follow, you pun buat dalam lab work. Sebab you nak prove that kerja you dalam lab work is similar with theory daripada software tu. Okay, so that one is theoretical. Ataupun yang you all belajar mathematics, you all belajar apa yang ada semua teori tu kan. So that one is based on theoretical sampling. Okay, so theoretical sampling is a process of data collection for generating a theory whereby the analyst will collect codes and analyze data and decide what data to collect next and where to find them in order to develop a theory as it emerge. Okay, so secara teori contohnya katalah saya bersenam 60 minit for weightlifting. This one will give theoretically it will reduce the weight of the person contoh. Okay, so theoretically. Tapi in actual work, does it goes back to the same conclusion with their theory ataupun tak? Yang itu kita kena prove. We need to prove that one. Okay, volunteer sampling, yang ini untuk kita nak buat survey, nak conduct survey, so kita minta orang tu untuk volunteer. So this one is very is not having a good probability lah sebenarnya when we have this volunteer sampling. So siapa yang nak dia buat this particular study, siapa yang tak nak dia tak buat. Okay, so this one is volunteer. It is made up of people who self-select into the survey. Often this folk will have a strong interest into the main topic of the survey. So contohnya untuk volunteer sampling kita akan ada snowball, whereby the study subject will recruit future subjects for among their acquaintances. Snowball ni contoh macam I ada seorang volunteer. Okay, daripada volunteer tu I tanya dia soalan dan dia kata, oh I boleh recommend you my friend. Then yang orang yang nak tanya ni kata, boleh panggil you punya friend. So kawan you pun datang. Then kawan you kata, oh I have my relative yang macam ni. So boleh panggil you punya relative. So daripada situ dia snowball. Okay, itu snowball. Self-selection, this one is whereby sample is being self-selected. Okay, so dia kata dia memang ada this type of answer for this part of question. So he agreed to conduct the testing. I habiskan this chapter then haphazard sampling. This one is the sample is being selected for the survey without using systematic or random selection method. It is also known as a convenient sampling, whereby it is a technique where subjects are selected because of their convenient accessibility. Contohnya yang paling dekat dengan I ambil lah. Okay, so this one is haphazard. Alright, so this will be your blended learning untuk video. I think you need to watch this one. Probably nanti akan ada keluar dalam you punya lecture notes, dalam you punya test ataupun apa. So please have a watch with these YouTube videos. And then you have this Malaysian guideline for food sampling. This one I have already uploaded into your Google Classroom. Okay. Alright. So far ada apa-apa nak tanya tak?
Tak ada, madam.
Tak ada, madam.
Tak ada.
Tak ada, madam.
Okay. Eddie kata nanti you all ada lab
Ada?
Do you have lab for FST202?
Madam.
Ada.
So it starts this week ke macam mana?
Next week should be.
Next week. Sebab dia kata nanti next week you all akan buat lab ni and relating to the sampling. I'm not sure. So nanti boleh tak you all read up this particular chapter so that you have a clear picture of how the lab is being conducted. Kenapa you all kena conduct sampling, I pun tak faham. Okay, so tak ada soalan
Tak, madam.
Okay, tak ada. So masa pun dah pukul 1.10 dah, pergilah lunch. dah masa untuk lunch. Okay, so next week kita akan start for the following chapter. And then you all punya test 1 kena prepare juga Please make sure that you read for your chapter 1, chapter 2. Now it's already chapter 3. Sebab nanti tak nak ada short notice you tak sempat nak baca for your FST202. Sebab you all ada FPD apa semua lagi nak kena buat. Okay, so thank you very much for your participation. Thank you for your cooperation. I'll see you on Monday for the upcoming chapter. Okay, I will upload your upcoming chapter dekat dalam Google Classroom. Alright, thank you and you can leave the meeting.